The drama surrounding Angel Reese has taken yet another turn, and this time it comes with Stephen A. Smith's voice booming over the airwaves like a verdict in a courtroom. What was once the story of a rising star stepping into the spotlight has now started to feel like a cautionary tale unfolding in real time. And the question on everyone's lips is no longer about her swagger or her star power, but whether she can actually deliver when it matters most. Because as it stands right now, Angel Reese isn't just being compared to Caitlin Clark, she's being measured against her own hype. And the results are brutally unforgiving. The night that set this latest storm in motion was supposed to be hers. Clark was sidelined, taped up and wrapped in ice, watching from the bench like a queen temporarily displaced from her throne. For Angel, it was the perfect stage. The cameras were pointed her way. The storylines had been laid out like a red carpet. This was the chance to silence critics, to remind fans and skeptics alike that the Bayou Barbie wasn't just a nickname or a brand, but a force on the court who could dominate even without Clark standing across from her. Instead, what the world got was 4 points. 4. A box score that looked less like the emergence of a new WNBA star and more like a clerical error. Sure, she hauled down 12 rebounds, but boards without buckets are like receipts without purchases. Empty. The league doesn't reward you for cardio. The fans don't tune in to watch someone just collect missed shots. And with Clark off the floor, this was supposed to be Angel's statement game. Instead, it turned into a punchline. Stephen A. didn't let it slide. He's never been one to bite his tongue, and this time he framed Angel Reese's performance for what it was, a missed opportunity of seismic proportions. He reminded the audience that Caitlin Clark, injured or not, continues to command the headlines because every time she steps on the court, she finds a way to make an impact. Meanwhile, Angel was left standing in the wreckage of a blowout loss, staring at a stat line that read like an obituary for her hype. 4 points in 27 minutes. A performance so forgettable it became unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. The criticism hit hard, and it wasn't just about one game. Fans have begun to notice a troubling pattern. Reese can rebound, yes. She can hustle, she can flex, she can bring energy, but when it comes to putting the ball in the hoop, when it comes to scoring with consistency, she disappears. She has been blocked nearly as many times as she's made shots this season, a statistic so damning it almost defies belief. When a professional player has a highlight reel of missed layups and clanked jumpers rivaling her actual points, the conversation shifts from growing pains to deeper concerns. And while Angel fumbled her moment, Caitlin Clark didn't even need to step on the floor to dominate the narrative. Wrapped in ice, benched, and unavailable, Clark still found her name trending across social media, her presence overshadowing the game itself. That's the difference between the two. Clark creates gravity by simply existing, while Angel struggles to make noise even when the spotlight is entirely hers. It didn't help that Angel entered the league with comparisons swirling around her. Jay Hill, with all the conviction of a hype man, once predicted that by the time Reese retired, she would be considered the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. Bold words, the kind that hang in the air like a challenge to fate. But with every passing game where Angel falls short of even double-digit scoring, those words sound less like prophecy and more like parody. Because Michael Jordan didn't just talk, he didn't just brand, he produced, night in and night out. And right now, Angel Reese looks less like a Jordan and more like a college star caught in the quicksand of professional reality. The Chicago Sky didn't draft a TikTok influencer. They didn't invest in a viral sensation. They believed they were getting a cornerstone, a franchise piece to build around, the counterpoint to Caitlin Clark in what was supposed to be a generational rivalry. Instead, what they have is a rebound machine with a scoring allergy, a player whose biggest highlights come from social media clips and pre-game outfits rather than dominance on the hardwood. And when fans start asking whether a player spends more time curating her pre-game walk than working on her jumper, the narrative starts to shift in ways that are hard to reverse. Even Stephen A., who has often been accused of leaning into hot takes, couldn't spin this one as just growing pains. He looked at the numbers, looked at the tape, and called it like it is. Angel Reese isn't Caitlin Clark. She isn't even close. And more importantly, she isn't playing like the star she thinks she is. Stars don't vanish for 27 minutes when the game is begging for leadership. Stars don't drop 4 points and walk away with their heads held high. Stars deliver when the moment is theirs, and Angel hasn't delivered yet. But this isn't just about basketball. The tension here runs deeper, into identity, into media narratives, into how players are marketed and remembered. Angel Reese became a headline name not just because of her talent, but because of her infamous clash with Clark in the NCAA tournament, that viral taunt that became the defining image of her career. It was drama, it was rivalry, it was box office. But the problem with being known for a moment is that eventually the moment fades. What remains is production, or the lack thereof. And when production doesn't match the hype, the backlash comes swift and merciless. The WNBA, for all its growth, isn't a league that can afford to wait. Fans want stars. Teams need results. And coaches don't hand out minutes just because someone has charisma. Every second on the floor has to be earned, and right now, Angel is in danger of losing even that. There are whispers in front offices, murmurs among coaches, side-eyed conversations in the locker room. How long before she's benched? How long before she becomes trade bait? How long before the league quietly moves on from the Bayou Barbie experiment? And that's the real danger. Not just losing a game, not just getting embarrassed in a blowout, but becoming irrelevant in a league where relevance is everything. Angel Reese doesn't need to be a social media star. She doesn't need to win the outfit game. She needs to score, to produce, to prove that she belongs. Because while she's struggling to find her rhythm, Caitlin Clark is waiting in the wings, ready to reclaim the spotlight the second she's healthy again. And when she does, Angel's 4-point games will look less like slumps and more like proof of a brutal truth. Some players are built for this league, and some are not. Stephen A. Smith's critique wasn't just harsh, it was a wake-up call. A reminder that in the WNBA, like in all professional sports, hype dies quickly, but performance lives forever. Angel Reese still has time to flip the script, but the clock is ticking, and every game that ends with 4 points and a hollow stat line digs the hole deeper. She isn't fighting Clark anymore. She isn't fighting the media. She's fighting her own narrative, and right now the narrative is winning. So what do you think? Is Angel Reese running out of chances, or is she just one breakout game away from silencing the critics? Has the league been too harsh on her, or is this exactly what happens when hype collides with reality? Drop your thoughts down below in the comments. Let's get the conversation going. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding WNBA drama.